Hey, what's up? My name is Jeremiah Krakowski, and I want to teach you how to live a better life if you're a business owner. This video is going to be something that's going to show you some of the lessons that I wish I knew when I got started in my own business that you can apply yourself. And for those of you that are wondering who I am, I've been in the online marketing space helping business owners for the last 21 years scale to make tens of millions of dollars in the coaching, course, and seminar space. We used to do DVD and CD products back in the day, and I built multiple businesses over $10 million. And I want to help you succeed, whether you're just starting out or you have been in the space for a long time. How do you get more clients and how do you make things happen? Something that comes up in my coaching calls with my clients is how we can actually optimize our brain. And so what I'm going to talk about here is it's not necessarily a mindset training, but it's something that I want you to pay attention to when it comes to how your thinking is processing information. It's related to the reticular activating system. If you don't know what the reticular activating system is, it has to do with that part of your brain that, like, when you notice things and you can recognize opportunities. One of the biggest problems as to why people don't succeed is they're not recognizing opportunities. They're not seeing things for what they really are when they show up in their life. And they're waiting for perfection. They're waiting for things to be perfect instead of accepting things for how they are, number one, which is going to be powerful for you. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well. But also being able to train your mind to see the best opportunities instead of striving and working so hard to make everything perfect. And this goes against the normal thinking in our brains because we think that the harder I grip onto how I want things to go, the better they will for me. When the reality is that couldn't be further from the truth. And I have years of experience as well as working with thousands of clients to prove this with evidence that I'm going to be bringing to you here today. Okay? And so what we have to look at is this, is that what is the thing that you want in your life, in your business? I need you to get clear on it. Well, I want to make more money. Why? And you might say, well, so I can pay off my bills. Why do you want to pay off your bills? Well, so I can have less stress. Well, why do you want to have less stress? And now we start getting to the root cause of it. We asked 4 or 5 layers of why. I'm sure you've heard of this. If you've been in the personal development space for a long time, maybe this is the first time you're hearing this. Asking multiple layers of why behind the reason that we want to do something. Why do I want to grow my business? Why do I want to get more clients? Okay? And when we can really identify what that root cause issue is, we can start to identify how to fix it. Now, one of the biggest issues is that our brain, how we tune it, is where we focus. And so if I'm watching a movie that's negative and dark, no wonder the next day I'm focused so much on how things can go bad in my life or in my business. If I'm reading content on social media, if I'm watching the news media about who was recently arrested or who killed who or things like that. We used to joke about that when I was younger. You know, what do we call the news? Who killed who? It's not funny, but it's funny at the same time. Because it's like that's what the news reports on, is all the negativity and the darkness in our world. And if you pay attention to negativity, the brain does something very powerful, is it looks for more in that same lane or modality. And so what we have to do is we have to start to pay attention to what we want and what we're looking for and what we're seeking out. And we have to set intention in our minds for our activities. If all I focus on is how I struggle to be able to build my business, I'm overwhelmed by the things I have to do, that's all we're going to see. And then we're going to see how everything else is overwhelming. And this creates a vicious cycle that we get into. The way that the reticular activating system works is very interesting, is that whatever we have in our life, we see more of, and it stands out to us more. It's a very unique thing in our psychology. If one of the best ways that people notice it is if you ever buy a model of a car, you notice that everybody who already has that model of car is driving. You notice your car on the road everywhere. It's like everybody's driving your car, no matter what it is, no matter which car you have. And then you sell that car and it seems like now those people aren't driving your car anymore. That's exactly what it is. It's the brain focuses more on where it spends its focus, and it notices opportunities more that way. And so when it comes to your business and your marketing, something that I actually teach people is that if you can actually play on, in a positive way, the reticular activating system of the clients that you're trying to reach, you can show up for the very things where they have their focus. And you can actually show in front of people where they're putting their focus as far as that goes. And that's really cool because the algorithms start to amplify this on social media and advertising. And then now that we have artificial intelligence, we can use this to even optimize a lot of these different layers, these processes, which is really, really exciting and fun. So let's kind of dive a little bit deeper into this now as to how you can use this in your life and your business. Number one, you have to shift what you're focusing on. If all we focus on and think about is what can go wrong and what am I trying to avoid, that's all we're going to see. And every single situation is going to play out. They've done studies where the negative shows up twice as much as the positive. And then what ends up happening is we're replaying either our memory or the memories and stories that somebody else has told us. And we make decisions on things that haven't even happened yet because of where our mind focus is, and our intention is on avoiding the bad stuff from happening. Our intention is so much on avoiding things not happening the way we don't want them to. Okay? That stinks. It's not a way to be successful, but it's how our brains are naturally wired and bent towards operating. So we have to be intentional to steer the thinking in our brain to start to focus on what we actually want. And this, I get it, can be difficult, especially if your spouse, your family, your work, your job, the things you're doing every single day are not in alignment with that. And so you have to learn how to reset your brain and transition quickly and compartmentalize from one place to another. And this is one of the most powerful things that we can learn. This is what billionaire executives, when I read the biography of Bob Iger, the executive CEO of Disney, he talks about that his probably his best skill is being able to go from one crazy situation to another, and they're so unrelated that the emotions that he has to go deep into in each situation would overwhelm him. And yet he's able to pivot and switch 30 minutes over here, 30 minutes over here, 30 minutes over here. And what that allows you to do is you don't have to have a lot of build-up time to go into the things that we're doing. If we're constantly replaying negativity in our brain, we're going to be like, okay, that's all I see. That's all that's happening. Nothing works for me. I've been at this for 17 years and nothing is going my way. This is why affirmations actually do have a positive framework to them. It's not that we're trying to lie to ourselves and convince ourselves of something, but we're actually just trying to align where our focus is going. And then we start to recognize opportunities that are within that lane of focus. Visualization is powerful. It's actually really cool as you can even find visualization videos on YouTube. If you're doing fitness, you can find fitness visualization videos of people working out in the gym. If you're working in a business, you can pull up lifestyle visualization videos of wealthy people just doing wealthy people things on YouTube. And it's very interesting because if you play this even in the background, or you play this, I tried this morning. It was just kind of fun while I took a shower, and it got me into a different modality of thinking. I find that if I listen to a podcast from a wealthy business owner that's making at least $100 to $200 million a year, for some reason I start thinking and coming into alignment with the way that they communicate and the way that they talk. And I'm not necessarily going to copy or say the things that they say. I don't want to do that. I don't want to plagiarize what other people are saying. But I'm thinking as if I was immersed into their environment as far as that goes. A lot of us, our environments are working against us. And we don't even know a way out because there's so much fighting against us. But the one thing that nobody can control is what's going on up in here except for you. And you get to control that based on where you put your focus. I'm not talking about striving focus. If I gotta focus, focus, focus. I'm not even that great at that myself. But what I do is I tune my alignment. I'm like changing the radio dial, and I'm hello, welcome to, boom, boom. That was my radio dial right there. But I'm able to tune the radio dial to the energy or the emotion or the thought or the experience or the thing that I'm about to go do. And I use a number of different ways to do this. One of the ways I tune my radio dial is if I'm struggling to have my thoughts be organized, I go clean up stuff around my house. For some reason, my thoughts start to come into alignment after about 10 to 15 minutes of cleaning up something else in my house. Everything else starts to get organized in my mind. It's pretty cool. If I'm trying to become creative when it comes to storytelling, I may watch a movie on Netflix. Some of the best ways of writing sales copy for your landing pages and your offers and your Facebook ads and your content come from storytelling. And yet I find so many people refuse to watch fictional stories or to read novels. I play video games even because it gets me into a creative modality because that's where my focus is. Now, of course, too much of that can't be healthy. If I'm cleaning my whole house all day and I'm not actually building my business or not actually taking care of my family, that's not healthy. If I'm just watching Netflix all day, that's not healthy. That's not going to get me to where I want to go. But we have so much available to us today that we didn't before. And AI can also be a tool to do this. Where we put our thought focus starts to manifest in our actions, in our lives. We start to do things. Again, we might not be doing the thing that we're watching on the television, but I'll tell you, they've done studies and research is if that's all that somebody fills themselves up with, they got to be careful where they stop recognizing what's the difference between reality and what's fiction. In your business, there's a powerful way you can tune your reticular activating system by adjusting what you're focusing on throughout the day. And then this is where consistency comes in your marketing. One of the biggest mistakes that I notice that people make in their marketing is they're posting about a lot of different things. Gary Vaynerchuk gave this advice about a lot of different things, posting a lot of different stuff on social media years back. And I understand it from the beginning sense to see which one starts to stick with people. But then you want to really focus in on where's that alignment that's going to start to bring in sales for me. What are the people that are going to buy from me? What do they really want? For me, people, they want to know how to build their landing pages, how to get more clients and how to do that. And so what I then have to look at is, okay, I'm going to start to be consistent because every time somebody starts associating my name that they see on social media, they should be associating that with a certain outcome that they can expect. Getting more clients with their marketing, with their advertising, with their landing pages. That's exactly what I'm known for. That's exactly what I help people do day in and day out to be able to optimize this. And I hear often from people that they've never had success before in their business. And they come into my ecosystem and things start to fall into place. I'd love to encourage you, by the way, to jump into one of our trainings that we have over at my website, jeremiahkrakowski.com, to jump into my Client Growth Accelerator when we have enrollment open for that program. At the time of this recording, there'll be a waiting list for that, but we'll be opening it up. We open it up a couple times a year as far as that goes. So stay tuned for those possibilities. Stay tuned for when I'm running advertisements across social media. You'll see my name come across the ads. As far as that goes, go follow my Instagram, go follow my Facebook page. So why would I tell you to do that? Because what's going to happen is, and this is a great part of marketing, and by the way, you can plug in and actually watch how I market my coaching business. You can observe exactly what I do to get clients and then model it and use it as a model in your business. And I can walk you through step by step all of those processes. And that's exactly what we do on this YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe. Is that when somebody sees an ad that you run and then they see another one and another one, you start to build name recognition and brand awareness in the minds of people as the consistent person that solves the ever-pressing problem that they have. I meet people all the time. They have an ever-pressing problem of getting clients in their business, and it's been bugging them for 2 to 5 years, and they've not done anything about it. And then they see me show up a couple times a week giving solutions in these areas, and now they start to say, let me check out a training that Jeremiah has. And then they join my coaching program, and then they start to get results. And so for you, how do you apply this in your business? I want you to figure out, what is the ever-pressing problem that's in the front of the reticular activating system for your target client? What is the thing that they just ruminate about like crazy and they just cannot get over? What causes them to lose sleep at night? What frustrates them more than anything else? I want you to think about this as a business owner. If you're a coach, if you're a mentor, if you're a trainer and you're trying to get clients, or you have an e-commerce business, or you're trying to build an influencer brand, or you're trying to be an author or a speaker or sell courses or sell just about anything, there's a problem that what you sell solves. Business is built on solving problems, even entertainment. Entertainment helps distract people from the pain that they're dealing with, and it also helps, again, align their energy in certain ways. The way that I use entertainment solves a problem. Everything solves a problem that has finances attached to it. Money is a transfer of energy to solve problems. And so what you do in business is you are a solutionist that is selling the result and the end outcome to a problem that people have. And so what you want to identify is, what is the main problem of the people that are going to spend the most amount of money with you? And this is where we got to challenge ourselves, because I notice and I know people do this. Well, I want to help everybody. But there's a certain group of people that's going to spend more money with you, and you want to really, really focus your energy on that group. You want to put all your focus in on that group that comes to you for that problem to be solved. They're asking you for that. They would move heaven and earth to have you solve that one problem. Again, for me, most people, it's Facebook ads, it's their marketing, it's their funnels is why they come to me for that. It's how to get more clients when things stagnate for them. That's what I'm known for. That's what my reputation has become. And that's what I've done for 21 years, is help people get more clients. And again, whatever you become known for, if you look at your whole body of work of your life, your experiences, how you help people, how you work with people, it could look different any which way as far as that goes. So what I want you to understand is this, is that when you can learn to become very, very specific about the problems that you solve, you can start to articulate those to people. And you can start to communicate those to people. And then as you start to communicate those to people, people start to recognize it. And they start to say and make decisions and say, I want to move forward in working with you. And then that's how you get paid. And you get to accelerate this process, which is really, really cool. And that's why my coaching program is called the Client Growth Accelerator, is to speed up that process, to help you to be able to create financial freedom by getting consistent with your messaging, with your marketing, with your sales, to be able to dial in all of the different things and simplify them so that you're not overwhelmed and so that you start to get results fast. Flip that to what you're doing in your business. How do you help people get results fast? Maybe you might be watching this saying, well, I don't know how I help people get results fast. You got to start believing in yourself more. You got to start believing in the possibilities more. To not doubt ourselves and grow in the skill of whatever you lack. Whatever you feel like I need a skill of, one of the number one things, learn to become articulate in how you talk on camera and being able to communicate on video with people. The art and skill of being able to communicate on video with people, which, by the way, I struggled with for years. I didn't know how to communicate on video at all. Years ago. Had no clue. And I've come up with frameworks to be able to do so. I think I do pretty well. I've come up with frameworks to even do so without notes, where I actually can trigger my mind and my own reticular activating system to operate out of my intuition to be able to teach and articulate concepts to people that are very simple and easy to understand. and to simplify them in as few words as possible. One of the best ways that you can successfully help people is to not over-explain things, but to keep it simple. And if they want more details, they can ask later. Things will start to stand out to them when you do that. And that's where your lane of marketing is you figure out what stands out, what is the pattern, and you actually get into a connective conversation with the people that you are marketing to, where they will tell you in their own words exactly what they need help with. And then what you do is you take that feedback and you reverse engineer that. We use artificial intelligence to help us do this, into creating offers and products exactly based on what the needs of the market are, as well as brainstorming new ideas that maybe the market didn't ask us, by bringing our knowledge and our experience into and combining it with the feedback loop that we receive. And that feedback loop is one of the best ways to succeed in business. One of the ways that we do this is we use transcripts. We take the transcripts of people when they're in our coaching calls, when they're in our training calls, when they're on our Q&A calls. I take the questions that are posted on my social media and I filter them into, I have a document of over 200 pages of answers from people as to what their ever-pressing problems are. And it all boils down to this: marketing, Facebook ads, getting more clients through their funnels. You know, the basics of a funnel they understand, but when it comes to actually what is an award-winning funnel that's actually going to produce results, what's actually going to make 6, 7, and 8 figures, that's hard for people. And so for you, you got to figure out what is your specific area that stands out, that's like a pink elephant, that's like a yellow submarine, that stands out to reach the people that you're looking to reach. You have to stand out. And one of the biggest areas that I notice that people struggle with is they're trying to play small. They're trying to play it safe, and they're trying to hide behind the scenes, and they're trying to not be seen and not be heard. And they've been told their whole life to not be seen and not be heard, and they don't feel like they have permission to have a voice, and they don't want to be too big, and they don't want to have too big of energy. And that becomes the cycle of how they operate. That's how I operated for years. How do I stay behind the scenes? How do I not push the envelope too far? How do I stay safe and play it safe and not take risks? Can I tell you this? The greatest risk that you can take is trying to stay safe and play it safe. One of the best decisions that you can make is to start to step out and be willing to do something that you've never done before. Be willing to try something that you've never done before. Be willing to jump in with both feet into the deep end and realize you might not know how to swim, but you'll figure it out. And when you have somebody like a coach or a mentor, which is exactly what I do with people, to come alongside with you, to walk you through that process and to help support you and guide you and direct you through the hard stuff, you won't sink. And that's exactly what you are to your clients. People are looking for a swimming coach in their specific area that you mentor people in. They don't want to sink. They don't want to drown. They want somebody that can hold them afloat as they learn, as they grow. You know, I got a 1.5-year-old son. He's learning, he's growing. He's learning to do hard things. He takes risks. Mommy and daddy got to help direct him. When you are a coach or a mentor, you do the same thing that we do with children, with your clients. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we miss, is actually realizing that really a lot of times when we're coaching people, it's an underdeveloped area of their understanding that we have to start at the very baseline level and help people understand how to go from where they are to where they want to be. And by the way, that's respect. That's honoring where somebody is at. It's dishonor to have to sound smart and posture ourselves as somebody that knows more than we really do, or knows exactly what we know, in order to validate ourselves. I'm not trying to get validation from people, and I don't care if we got haters that aren't even the people I'm trying to reach that say, well, you're keeping stuff too simple. It's not logical enough. It's not all this negativity. I don't focus on it. I focus in on who are the people that I help consistently. And I expect that the people that are in my space that are watching my content are wanting the results that we deliver. And I start to believe and I start to have faith and I start to understand that I may not see it right now, but I start to have faith for where I'm going and the fact that people will come because they resonate with the words and the language and the energy that I'm putting across. And I'm able to do so with confidence, with charisma, even in areas where I don't have evidence, even in areas where I'm just starting out. And training yourself to be able to do that, to be able to put yourself out there with confidence, to not shrink back in unknown situations, to not let the fear of the unknown run your life, and to actually not let fear decide your choices. So often we let what we're afraid of happening decide what we're going to do. What if you let what you're hoping happens decide? Well, I don't want to get disappointed. We work so stinking hard to avoid disappointment. When all disappointment is just a made up feeling in our mind and our bodies that, yes, I get it. Maybe you've felt it for a long time. Don't understand. I don't mean any disrespect by this. But it's a thought and it's a feeling, and disappointment is literally a construct of our minds based on experiences of the pain that we want to feel. Yes, grieve. Yes, you will feel sometimes disappointment, but then learn to ground yourself and move on quickly and get back up again and become resilient and resist the urge to dwell on the past memories and the mistakes and the things that didn't work out for you. To start to move things forward in a positive direction. Just to start to move the needle forward for where you're going. You know, we can get really stuck focusing on what's not working. We can get really stuck looking at what needs to change in our lives. What if you started paying attention to what has worked out and you started doing more of that consistently? Our brain starts going crazy saying, well, last time that happened, then bad stuff happened. And I bought this house and then I lost everything. It's like, come on. What if you focused on the good? What if you focused on the goodness? What if you became intentional to do that? And you started putting your mind focus on how things will work out for you. What if they do work out? Then what? And realize that we end up talking ourselves out of our dreams and our vision because we're so afraid of them not working out. Our need to control everything starts to dominate everything that we do. Our need and desire to make things go our way. And I don't mean any disrespect by this, especially if you've experienced abuse or pain or trauma or people that have hurt you before. I understand you need to have boundaries. I get it. But it takes letting go of control in your life and surrendering to the process and saying, okay, what's next? For me, I say a prayer and I say, God, put some supernatural on top of my natural ability. And I'm amazed what happens when I pray. Things start to fall into place. Things start to come into alignment. When something's not working out, I pray and I say, God, give me wisdom in this area. And no matter what your faith is or what you do believe in, put your faith in something. Put your faith in yourself if you have to. You know, without having faith, without having belief, what are we actually stepping towards? We're just shooting in the dark. We're just essentially gambling. And we become addicted to the slot machine. Sometimes it works out, but most of the time it doesn't, because we become addicted to the possibility of things happening for us, and we don't actually want things to go well for us because it would be different. And we would start to worry that things would go bad after the good happens, just like a slot machine. It literally becomes addictive in our minds. It does. It's an addictive pattern that we get into, and when you break it, You got to control where your thoughts are going. You got to control where your energy is going. Where are you putting your focus? And start to focus your energy on what's going to move the needle forward for you. What's going to get you those clients? What's going to get people showing up in your space? What's going to get people coming into your ecosystem and deciding to work with you? Maybe you don't know what that is. Again, I'd love to help you with that. We can identify that very quickly with artificial intelligence by understanding what are the problems that people have and what are their desires, and then creating a bridge between their problem and the solution. And you run a business where you charge money to get people from point A to point B. That's what business is. And I'd love to help you to start to move that thing forward for you. So to start to move the forward momentum and to start to get it going for you. Even if things have never worked out for you before. Even if you've tried everything that there is and you've listened to every guru there is on the planet. You know, I wouldn't call myself a guru, but I've had people say that I'm like the guru to the gurus. I've had people call me that for years. Because I can look at a situation, I can say, oh wait, let's change this 2 or 3 things. And then it just starts to work and it starts to produce money and it starts to be profitable. And I'd love to help you with that as well. Again, jump into my Client Growth Accelerator program when we have enrollment open to that. And let's help you start to succeed. We'll talk soon, everybody. Have a good one.